This is the Reporter's Notebook, hosted by Elaine Shane.
Welcome to this entry in the DTN Reporter's Notebook. The Progressive Farmers Editor-in-Chief, Greg Hilliard, joins us today. Greg, we're highlighting today your mid-November issue. What are you focusing on there?
Right. Well, it's our annual planning for profits issue. So what we'd like to do is give farmers, as they're finishing up this year, 2013, give them some practical advice to wrap up some of their business plans for this year, but then also taking a look into some of the issues and economic issues they need to consider for 2014 into the new crop year.
So what are some of the highlights of the issue?
Yeah, well, this year there's a lot of uncertainty because we're still looking for a farm bill, and of course some of the crop insurance decisions, policies won't be out till next year. But some of the things we'll be looking at is kind of an outlook on input prices for seed and crop protection chemicals and fertilizer and fuel, for example. But also looking at some new changes in crop insurance policies, marketing strategies farmers should consider with all these volatile markets now, and just some good parameters on how the whole economic forefront is changing for agriculture going into 2014.
You mentioned change, so how timely is it for farmers to see an issue like this now?
Yeah, I think it's very timely because hopefully, even though a lot of areas are having a later harvest this year, it gives them a chance to kind of reflect on their business plans for this year, but also kind of look ahead into 2014 and make those adjustments they need to be sure that their operation is in the best position to make profitable decisions.
So can you give us some examples, some tips they might be getting from that issue?
Yeah, a couple of, as I mentioned, we're going to try to do our best to give farmers the latest updates on what's happening with the Farm Bill. That, like I said, that's the big unknown, whether or not that'll be passed by, when the issue comes out. If it isn't, we'll definitely have links on dtnpf.com where they can get the latest information. We're also looking at some stories on what's going to happen as interest rates rise. There's every indication that Fed will be loosening up their controls there, so interest rates will be rising, and what impact that will have on their bottom lines. And then, of course, land and cash rents are always a big topic of interest. Going to be looking at some outlooks on those subjects too.
And like I said, it'll be hitting mailboxes mid-November.
Exactly, Elaine.
And also in the digital edition.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Elaine.
And you can see more on that issue of the Progressive Farmer magazine by going to the link on your screen. With Greg Hilliard, I'm Elaine Shane, and that's today's entry in the DTN Reporter's Notebook. Thanks for joining us.
This has been the Reporter's Notebook from the DTN Progressive Farmer Newsroom.